Nigeria in the 1970s. Military rulers controlled the country with fear. Corruption runs deep through the Nigerian government like blood in the veins. The poor are silenced, beaten down by poverty, while the powerful live in luxury. But in the middle of this storm, one man rises with a saxophone in his hands. He's not a soldier, not a politician, not a priest. He's something more dangerous, a musician who speaks truth. His songs became weapons, his stage becomes a battlefield, and his home a republic of freedom.
Money get the power, it comes still money. Why?
I don't know.
You don't know anything at all. You this my brother. Try this one. Him not no hungry people.
To his people, he is a hero. To the government, he is a threat. To the world, he becomes a legend. His name? Fela Anikulapo Kuti.
Hey, pass. Easy.
A man who lived without fear, who fought with rhythm, and who gave Africa a new sound, Afrobeat. But Fela's story is not just about music. It is about courage, controversy, pain, passion, and resistance. It is about how one man used art to fight dictatorship, how he paid the price for his boldness, and how his legacy still shakes the world today. This is the extraordinary life of Fela Kuti, the Black president.
And the second election, like he was a pass. Papa nonsense. He passed the rigging.
Fela Olufela Olusegun Olodotun Ransom Kuti was born on October 15, 1938 in Abeokuta, Nigeria. From birth, his life was shaped by activism and rebellion. His mother, Fumilayo Ransom Kuti, was no ordinary woman. She was a political trailblazer, the first woman to drive a car in Nigeria, and a fearless voice against British colonialism. She fought for women's rights and social justice, often standing toe-to-toe with powerful men who underestimated her. His father, Reverend Israel Ransom Kuti, was a respected minister and a school principal. He was strict, disciplined, and deeply involved in the fight for better education for Nigerians. From his father, Fela learned order. From his mother, he inherited courage. Together, these forces shaped a boy who would grow into a fearless man. But young Fela was not the most obedient child. He was playful, curious, and restless. While his brothers studied seriously, one becoming a doctor, another a human rights lawyer, Fela leaned towards creativity and freedom. His family wanted him to become a doctor too, but destiny had a different plan for him. In 1958, Fela was sent to London. His parents expected him to study medicine, but instead, he shocked everyone by enrolling in Trinity College of Music. It was here that his lifelong love affair with music became serious. He studied classical music, trumpet, and piano, but outside the classroom, he absorbed jazz, high life, and the energy of post-war London. London was alive with music, jazz clubs, Caribbean calypso, West African high life parties. Fela played in small bands, experimenting, searching for a unique sound. He formed Kula Lobidos, blending jazz with high life. At this stage, he wasn't yet the Fela Kuti the world would know. He wore suits, looked polished, and was still trying to impress audiences rather than challenge them. But beneath the surface, Fela was restless. He knew African music was rich, powerful, and underappreciated. He was searching for something bigger, a sound that could represent the identity of his people. The foundation of Afrobeat was quietly being laid at the time. By the mid-1960s, Fela returned to Nigeria, hoping to make a mark with Kula Lobidos. They performed around Lagos, but success was limited. Nigeria was unstable. Independence had come in the 1960s, but corruption and military coups soon followed. Still, Fela played in nightclubs, entertaining middle-class Nigerians, but he was yet to find his voice. Then came a turning point. In 1969, Fela and his band traveled to the United States for a tour. It was supposed to be just another music journey, but it changed his life forever. In Los Angeles, Fela met Sandra Isadore, a young woman deeply involved in the Black Power movement. Sandra introduced him to the writings of Malcolm X, Stokely Carmichael, and the Black Panthers. She spoke to him about pride in African identity, about resisting oppression, about using art as a weapon. For Fela, it was like fire being lit inside him. When he returned to Nigeria, he was transformed. He had discovered his mission. His music will no longer just entertain, it will educate, provoke, and fight. Back in Lagos, Fela reshaped his band and his sound. He took the energy of jazz, the soul of funk, the heartbeat of Yoruba rhythms, and combined them into something new. He called it Afrobeat. Afrobeat wasn't just music, it was an experience. Long, hypnotic grooves, heavy drums, fierce horns, chants and call and response.
Him go dey live best house, him go dey waka for road, you go dey comot for road for am, him go dey steal money.
Fela used Yoruba proverbs, Pidgin English, and satire to deliver his message. He spoke of corruption, colonial mentality, and African pride. Songs like Lady, Watano Gate Enemy, and later Zombie became anthems. His concerts were more than performances. They were political rallies, spiritual ceremonies, and revolutionary gatherings. Fela renamed his band Africa 70, later Egypt 80, and positioned himself not just as a band leader, but as a prophet of New Africa. Afrobeat became a weapon of truth, and millions began to listen. As Afrobeat gained strength, Fela's sound began to draw international attention. Musicians from around the world visited Lagos to witness his explosive performances. Jazz legends like Roy Ayers collaborated with him, blending Afrobeat with American soul and funk. Their joint album titled Music of Many Colors showed how Afrobeat could fuse seamlessly with global sounds. Fela also shared stages with artists such as Ginger Baker, the British drummer from Cream. Together, they recorded live sessions that captured the raw, electric spirit of Afrobeat. These collaborations helped spread his sound far beyond Africa. As Fela's influence grew more and more, he built his own world. He created the Kalakuta Republic, a compound where he lived with his band, dancers, and followers. Kalakuta was more than a home. It was a declaration of independence. Fela called it his own country, free from Nigeria's corrupt leaders and elite. Inside Kalakuta, life was vibrant. Music rehearsals went on day and night. The walls were painted with bold political art. It became a safe haven for oppressed, a place where freedom was real, even though temporary. Then came the Shrine, his nightclub in Lagos. Night after night, thousands gathered to dance, listen, and awoken. At the shrine, Fela spoke directly to the people about politics, corruption, poverty, and African unity. The political regime and government at the time hated it. The military did not like it. But the people loved it because he was talking about their realities and the things that they go through on a daily basis. The shrine was both a party and a parliament of the streets. The louder Fela became, the more dangerous he was to the Nigerian rulers. Military dictators saw him as a threat. They responded with violence. His compound was raided repeatedly. He was arrested over 200 times in his life, accused of everything from drug possession to treason. The most brutal attack came in 1977, after he released Zombie, a mocking song that compared Nigerian soldiers to mindless robots. The military regime did not like this, and they retaliated by storming Kalakuta Republic. They burned the compound to the ground, beat Fela nearly to death, and threw his mother Fumilayo out of the window. She later died from her injuries. It was a devastating blow, but Fela refused to be silenced. In protest, he placed his mother's coffin at the gates of a military barrack, challenging the regime directly. Few men in Nigeria had ever dared such defiance. Fela's music grew angrier, sharper, and more fearless.
You go they come out for road for them, him go they steal money. He be wrong man,
But Fela's life was not without contradictions. He lived boldly, sometimes recklessly. In 1978, he married 27 women in one day, most of them his dancers and singers. He smoked heavily, openly defied social norms, and embraced Yoruba traditional religion over Christianity and Islam. Critics accused him of being outrageous, egotistical, even irresponsible. But to his followers, Fela was authentic, living life without apology, rejecting Western morality, and embracing African spirituality. He often said he carried the spirit of his ancestors, and that his mission was to awaken Africa. This lifestyle brought him both admiration and criticisms. By the 1980s and the 1990s, Fela remained a powerful voice, but years of arrest, violence, and stress took a toll. He continued to produce music, but his health weakened. In 1984, he was jailed under the false charges of currency smuggling, spending nearly 2 years behind bars. Amnesty International campaigned for his release, making him a global symbol of resistance. Though often ignored by governments at home, Fela was celebrated worldwide. In the 1980s and 1990s, he became a global cultural icon, performing across Europe and America to sold-out audiences. In the 1990s, rumors spread about his health declining. On August 2, 1997, Fela Anikulapo Kuti died from complications related to HIV/AIDS. His death was announced by his brother, Professor Olikoye Ransom Kuti, a well-known doctor. When Fela died, Lagos stood still. Over 1 million people attended his funeral. Crowds filled the streets, dancing, crying, and chanting his name. It was one of the largest gatherings Lagos had ever seen. Even in death, Fela was larger than death. Posthumously, his legacy has been honored in countless ways. In 2008, Broadway staged the hit titled Musical Fela, winning 3 Tony Awards and introducing his story to a new generation. His albums have been ranked among Rolling Stone's greatest albums of all time, and he was nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Today, Afrobeat festivals around the world celebrate his life. His children, Femi and Sean Kuti, continue to carry the torch, ensuring the world never forgets about the black president. Also, Fela's influence can be heard everywhere. Afrobeat-inspired artists like Burna Boy, Wizkid are good examples. Globally, musicians from Beyonce to Questlove have drawn from his rhythms. His messages about freedom, resistance, and African pride remains timeless. If you enjoy content like this, please don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next.
Molu white driver, him get him power over him boss and conductor everywhere.